Thanks for joining us. This is Galaxy Television News, our top stories. President Buhari is set to present the 2022 appropriation bill to a joint session of the National Assembly on Thursday. House of Reps asked President Muhammadu Buhari to name and prosecute the lawmaker identified as sponsor of secessionists in the country. And outside Nigeria, Facebook's founder Mark Zuckerberg apologizes for the disruption caused after its social media services went down for almost 6 hours, impacting more than 3.5 billion users worldwide. Those are our top stories. Details coming your way shortly. Once again, it is good to have you join us on Galaxy Television News for this time. I'm Solomon Offem. President Muhammadu Buhari has said that Nigeria is always willing to extend a helping hand to the Republic of South Sudan towards political and economic stability. This is as he expressed concerns over the political instability of Libya, saying that so long as the country remains unstable, the proliferation of arms and light weapons in the Sahel region would persist. Buhari said this on Tuesday in Addis Ababa during a bilateral meeting with President Salva Kiir of South Sudan. The president, who assured the full support of Nigeria to all efforts to bring long-term stability and prosperity to the continent, said Nigeria will contribute its quota as much as possible to the development of South Sudan, stressing the need for cooperation among developing countries. Buhari said with investment in education, improved economy and healthcare, things will surely improve. On the situation in Guinea and Mali, he reiterated that African leaders must support efforts geared towards the return of democracy in the countries. In his remarks, President Kiir, who acknowledged Nigeria's leadership role in Africa, appreciated the country's efforts in the liberation struggle of South Sudan. President Muhammadu Buhari will on Thursday present the 2022 appropriations bill before a joint session of the National Assembly. Deputy Senate President Ovie Omoagege, who presided over Tuesday's plenary, disclosed this during the legislative session. Ahead of the budget presentation, the president is seeking some amendment in the 2022 to 2024 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework (MTEF) and Fiscal Strategy Paper (FSP).
A. The federal government of Nigeria aggregate expenditure, including GOEs and project-style loans, is projected to increase by 2.4 trillion naira from 13.98 trillion naira to 16.45 trillion naira. B. The increase in expenditure is due to 100 billion naira additional provisions to INEC to cater for the 2023 general elections.
The changes, according to President Buhari, are in line with the newly enacted Petroleum Industry Act, PIA, and the current economic realities.
The revision was necessitated by the need to reflect the new fiscal terms in the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA 2021, as well as other critical expenditures in the 2022 budget. The underlying drivers of the 2022 fiscal projections, such as oil price benchmark, oil production volume, exchange rate, GDP growth, and inflation rate, reflect emergent realities and the macroeconomic outlook and remain unchanged as in previously approved 2022 to 2024 MTF and the FSP.
After reading Buhari's letter, Omoagege mandated the Senate Joint Committee on Finance and National Planning to effect the changes and submit the report during Wednesday's plenary. In the same vein, President Muhammadu Buhari has asked the Senate to confirm the appointment of Justice Hussein Baba Yusuf as the Chief Judge of the Federal Capital Territory FCT High Court. His request was contained in a letter addressed to the Senate and read to the lawmakers during Tuesday's plenary at the National Assembly in Abuja. The Deputy President of the Senate, Ovie Magage, read the letter while presiding over the plenary in the absence of the Senate President, Ahmad Lawan. President Buhari had appointed Justice Baba Yusuf as the acting Chief Judge of the FCT High Court in August on the recommendation of the National Judicial Council, NJC. In a statement on August 13, NJC Director of Information, Soji Oye, stated that the appointment was effective from August 1. Justice Baba Yusuf was later sworn in along with 5 judges of the Sharia Court of Appeal by the Chief Judge of Nigeria and NJC Chairman Justice Tanko Muhammad. The Senate has confirmed the appointment of 5 nominees as members of Board of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The confirmation followed the consideration of a report by the Committee on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes at plenary Tuesday. Chairman of the Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes Committee, Senator Suleiman Abdul Kwari, in his presentation expressed satisfaction on the nominees' credentials, experience, and professional competence. It disclosed further that there was no adverse security report or petitions against any of them.
With all the experiences of the nominees and their suitability for the positions, the Senate, we wish to recommend that the Senate do confirm the nomination of the underlisted persons. 1. George Abang Ekpongu, Secretary to the Commission. 2. Lukman Mohammed, Board Member. 3. Anumba Adeze.
The Deputy Senate President, after the nominees were confirmed, congratulated them as they commenced the new assignments.
George Abang Ekpongu of Cross River State as Secretary of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Those in favor of this say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. George Abang Ekpongu of Cross River State is confirmed as Secretary of the EFCC, as Secretary of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Lukman Mohammed of Edo State as a member of the Economic and Financial Crimes, EFCC? Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Nay. The ayes have it.
The Senate also passed the Tertiary Hospital Development Fund Establishment Bill 2021. The passage of the bill followed the consideration of a report of the Committee on Health, Secondary and Tertiary. The Federal Ministry of Education has commenced the pilot implementation of the increase in retirement age to 65 or 40 years of service for teachers and education officers in Nigeria. Minister of State for Education Chukwuemeka Nwajoba gave the assurance at an event to commemorate the 2021 Teachers' Day celebration held in Abuja Tuesday. He said implementation of most of the targets in repositioning of teachers' welfare will be achieved by January 2022. The minister, who represented President Muhammadu Buhari at the occasion, said that the guidelines to ensure seamless implementation has been negotiated and outstanding salaries of affected teachers will soon be paid before December 2021.
I know that for teachers to effectively be at the heart of education recovery, there is a need for continuous retooling. Teachers and all those connected with teaching and learning will henceforth undergo annual training in modern techniques of teaching and learning. This will include digital literacy, trainings in pedagogy, information and communication technology.
In a remark, the Minister of Education, Malam Adamu, said the COVID-19 pandemic exposed the resilience and ingenuity of the professional teachers, noting that an empowered professional teaching workforce is sacrosanct for quality education in the country. The minister was represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Sonny Echono.
Government is currently partnering with developers and recognized institutions under the auspices of Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, agencies such as the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, the Federal Government Staff Housing Loans Board, the Federal Ministry of Education Staff Welfare Unit, and the Nigerian Union of Teachers are all collaborating to facilitate this.
President of the Nigerian Union of Teachers, Comrade Nasir Idris, emphasized that the COVID-19 crisis expanded the role of teachers and placed greater burden on them.
To keep teaching and learning ongoing, teachers have to adopt a remote or distance learning method and to ensure that no learner is left behind. They also took off the duty to assess and identify learning losses and apply recovery measures such as accelerated learning programs to reduce learning gaps.
Lagos State government, our able governor, the amiable governor, the fatherly governor, to all teachers and pupils in Lagos State have been doing a very fantastic work to make sure there is sustainability in education in Lagos State.
The theme for the 2021 World Teachers' Day is Teachers are the Heart of Education Recovery. It is now time for us to have a chat with Ms. Adetola Salau. She is a special advisor to the Lagos State Governor on Education. She will be joining us live via Zoom. Ms. Salau, thanks for joining us on Galaxy Television News. Of education recovery, what does this mean? Well, it appears we're having a bad connection.
Hello?
It's good to have you. You're welcome to Galaxy Television News.
Good evening. Thank you.
The theme for this year's World Teachers' Day is Teachers at the Heart of Education Recovery. What does this mean practically?
Yes, in practical terms, that means that due to the lockdown during the pandemic last year, there was lost time in education. Students were not able to meet all the learning outcomes that were outlined globally. And the only way that they'll be able to meet those learning, be able to recover the time, and of course, be able to meet those learning outcomes is by having teachers work with them, facilitate and guide them to enable them to be able to now recapture that lost time. So anyone who extensively works with students will understand that teachers are at the center of learning. They are at the center of ensuring that students are able to, how will I put it? They are able to really imbibe all that learning, all that information effectively. I mean, of course, they can also do learning by themselves, self-learning, but to have effective learning where they can really understand, where they can really comprehend, it's really, really useful to have a guide that you can go back and say, I don't understand it, I need clarification. So teachers really are the center of it all.
Now, the Federal Ministry of Education begins pilot implementation of the increase in retirement age to 65 or 40 years of service for teachers and education officers in Nigeria. What's your take on that?
Right now, if we look carefully at statistics, if care is not taken, and I said if care is not taken, which means a lot of government bodies and agencies are working to make sure that what I'm about to say doesn't happen. There will be a shortage, excuse me, there will be a shortage in teachers because first of all, a lot of people are not really enthused about that profession right now. for reasons that, I mean, we can elaborate on that further later. And then a lot of the population right now is at that stage where they have hit the service age limit, or the service time limit or the service age limit, like you mentioned. So effectively extending that means that we're still going to be able to utilize the teachers who have reached that point, and they can be able to bestow us with their wealth of experience. See, I think there's something to be said, and we're doing that here in Lagos State, about making sure that we capitalize on the experience of these teachers who have been in the system quite a bit. They really know how to work with students. I mean, their classroom management skills will be fantastic. And then, of course, their content subject matter will be quite strong. And hopefully, they have also kept abreast with trends, and I say hopefully. But even beyond that, the fact is, a lot of times, people who are newbies, teachers who are newbies, it will be really good if you pair them up, and that's what we're working on here. You pair them up, the experienced teachers with the newbies, and they're able to say, okay, this is what I did, and that's what I did. So having them still be a part of the system so that they can be guides, so that they can be facilitators, I think there are a lot of benefits to be said there. Because the last thing we need actually is a shortage of teachers. We actually need more teachers in our classrooms to work with our students, not less.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Adetola Salao. Thank you for your time, please. Ms. Adetola Salao, she is a special advisor to the Lagos State Governor on Education. Still to come on Galaxy Television News, House of Reps asked President Muhammadu Buhari to name and prosecute the lawmaker identified as sponsor of secessionists. And the country will bring you details of that and more when we come back from our break. Stay tuned. Thanks for staying tuned. This is Galaxy Television News. For more updates and latest news, log on to our website, galaxytvonline.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Galaxy TV Nigeria. Follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Follow and tag us on our Instagram page at official Galaxy TV. You can avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share your story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818-6666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly. You can always accommodate your live updates and comment. The Nigerian Union of Teachers (NUT) celebrates World Teachers Day today. The union used the day as an opportunity to commend teachers and to address challenges teachers face in their lines of duty. Galaxy's Erebami Salako tells us more on this report.
Teachers are said to be the foundation of education, and no nation reconstruction would be completed without the cooperation of teachers. Every 5th of October have been set aside to celebrate the efforts of teachers all around the world. The theme for this year is Teachers at the Heart of Education Recovery. The Lagos branch of the Nigerian Union of Teachers were not left out in celebrating teachers. The event took a look at the challenges teachers face, how the COVID-19 pandemic had affected teachers, and the use of technology befitting a 21st century teacher.
What of the insecurity in the country? What about the poverty level? A hungry child, how does he or she learn?
The government promised to do their best to resolve issues regarding the teaching profession and to make the profession more lucrative, increase access to education, and to train teachers on modern teaching technology.
Modern instructional materials, as well as rewards and recognition of excellence through the teachers' yearly merit award.
All the challenges facing the teaching profession, it's an opportunity to judge or to interface with the big people and mitigate all of these challenges.
Mr. Lako, Galaxy TV News, Lagos.
Meanwhile, teachers in Ogun State are making fresh demands from government as they joined their counterparts across the globe to celebrate this year's Teachers' Day. Representatives of the Academic Staff Union of Secondary Schools of Nigeria and Nigerian Union of Teachers, while speaking with newsmen, maintained that government of the day is insensitive to their plight and agitations. According to the union leaders, they want improved welfare package, payment of outstanding leave allowances, amongst others. Meanwhile, in a swift reaction, Ogun government says paucity of funds has handicapped the implementations of some of its plans.
As for today, we are expecting one special sharing news from the governor in honor of today's celebration. That is the approval for the recruitment of 5,000 intern teachers conducted that attended the interview and have been recruited for teaching in Ogun State. We are expecting His Excellency to give approval to this.
But our own expectation is executive pronouncement of His Excellency to declare total payments of all deducted funds, the what we call global deduction, so that this celebration this year will be worthwhile.
They're working their socks off. We're very proud of what they're doing. They've made a lot of differences to a lot of our future leaders. To celebrate them, to share good practice, and to also celebrate teachers that have been very, very outstanding in their classroom deliveries.
I say most sincerely to all of you, I have always kept in focus on prioritizing the welfare of Ogun State workforce in general and that of teachers in particular. I acknowledge that most of the demands are legitimate, even when the problems predate this administration. I wish we had all the funds, and there will be not one item left on your list of demands that will not be immediately addressed.
As the world marks the 2021 World Teachers' Day, government at all levels in Nigeria have been advised to embark on a review of education policy in the country. A cross-section of speakers at an event in Ibadan decried poor state of infrastructure in most public schools across the nation. Correspondent Kunlejo reports that speakers maintained that most schools lack potable water, toilet facilities, and other facilities required to keep children in schools. On his part, the representative of the Ministry of Education, Adeola Ademola, restated the commitment of the Seyi Makinde-led administration to the provision of qualitative education.
Intervention classes for SS3 strength and payments to the teachers. This school is not left out in the distribution of the nation. A hungry man is an angry man. To date, salaries, allowances, and promotion are not denied.
We have looked for water everywhere. We have searched for water everywhere. We have written letters to philanthropists. We have gone to Sabo community. We have written to Premier Hotel. And still, we didn't have water. Honestly, there was a time we were buying water to
The House of Representatives Tuesday asked President Muhammadu Buhari to name and prosecute the lawmaker identified as sponsor of secessionists in the country. The lawmakers said by identifying and not naming the member of the National Assembly allegedly sponsoring secessionist groups in the country, President Buhari had made all the 469 lawmakers suspects.
On Saturday, I had to honor an invitation to Ghana for a wedding. Mr. Speaker, it will amaze you what I faced in the hands of Ghanaian officials. I got there, they kept me for about 4 hours that they're trying to confirm something. I stayed at the airport for 4 hours, missed the wedding that I went there for, and at the end of the day, one of them walked up to me and said, "Sir, we are sorry, because there's an announcement in Nigeria that a member of parliament is sponsoring terrorism. We are put on red alert to ensure that no member of parliament from Nigeria come here to hide or to cause trouble." Mr. Speaker, I had to come back home, dejected. I lose my respect and my privilege as a privileged member of these chambers. Mr. Speaker, they have been calling me all over the world. My friends have been telling me, who among you is that person sponsoring terrorists? Mr. Speaker, the right thing for a father to do, Mr. President is the father of the country today, the right thing for any father to do is to name and shame any child that is bringing about division or anything that will affect the family. But Mr. President did not shame that person. He did not name them. Instead, he named 469 members. Because of the fact that we have always cooperated, and in line with the fact that Nigeria is having a lot to deal with, Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal. If not, the right thing to do is to invoke Section 88 of the Constitution so that they can tell us who among us is the person that is sponsoring terrorism.
Recalled that Buhari, in a speech to mark the 61st Independence Day anniversary of Nigeria, said that the government has identified sponsors of the secessionist groups and their leaders, among whom is a member of the National Assembly. The House of Representatives on Tuesday called on the National Security Advisor, NSA, and other security agencies to deploy all necessary machinery to Anambra State with a view to curbing the gruesome killing of notable Nigerians there. The resolution was passed sequel to the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance on the need to curb the increasing spate of killings in Anambra, sponsored by Honorable Chris Azugbogu. To this end, the House mandated its Joint Committee on National Security and Intelligence and Police Affairs to ensure that normalcy is restored within the state and report to the House within 3 weeks.
Because that on Tuesday, the 28th September 2021, Dr. Chika Akunyele, the husband of the late DG NAFDAC, and late Minister of Information, Professor Dora Akunyele, and 8 others were slaughtered at Mpo, suburb of a commercial city of Onitsha in Anambra State. Observe that there is need to work with the security agencies with a view of containing these acts towards making the state safe for law-abiding citizens to go about their lawful businesses.
The Benue State House of Assembly has passed the 2021 estimated supplementary appropriation bill of 134 billion naira into law. The Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Titus Uba, announced these at the floor of the House after an exhaustive deliberation at the Committee of Supply following calls to close consideration of the bill. The estimated supplementary appropriation of 134 billion naira was not a new bill, but one occasioned on account on readjustment to pave way for accountability, transparency in governance and execution of projects with capital expenditure of 48 billion naira, while the recurrent expenditure had 85 billion naira. According to the Speaker, this passage into law will enable the governor move the state forward for the overall good of Benue people.
The House did consider the approval for the year 2021's total supplementary revenue of 134 billion 375,517,309 only, and total expenditure of 134,375,517,309 naira only for the year 2021 fiscal year.
Similarly, the House also passed a bill for a law to amend the Community Volunteer Guards Establishment Law Cap 39, Laws of Benue State 2004, to complement the security architecture in the state.
The House did consider the report of the House Standing Committee on Local Government, Security and Chieftaincy Affairs, and the House Bill 25, a bill for a law to amend the Community Volunteer Guards Establishment Law, Cap 39, Laws of Benue State 2004.
First and foremost, we want to thank God for this elevation. I want to thank the Speaker and the House leaders for considering us, me and my deputy, worthy of this position. And the way forward is that we want to improve upon what the former clerk did. We are calling on the members of the House and the staff to cooperate with us.
The World Contraception Day is a global campaign dedicated to improving awareness of contraception to enable young people make informed decisions regarding their sexual and reproductive health. Over the years, family planning have allowed people to attain their desired number of children and to determine the spacing of their pregnancies. It is achieved through use of contraceptive methods and the treatment of infertility. This was made known to the public during a stakeholders symposium to commemorate the year 2021 World Contraception Day in Lagos State, themed Family Planning in New Lagos, a catalyst pillar for female empowerment and socio-economic development. Galaxy's Daniel Tenebo reports that the wife of the Lagos State Governor, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, called on the government stakeholders to use the media as a tool to create awareness about contraception and the need for family planning in our society for empowerment and economic development.
No gainsaying that family planning enables women to pursue their educational and career aspirations, acquire more wealth, and a lot has been said here, and in the long run contribute to the socio-economic development of their immediate communities. When women space their births effectively, they can recover from the previous birth, take care of themselves and the living child, and bond with their children and spouses. The growing population in our state and nation has its attendant challenges, such as increased rate of unemployment, high rate of poverty, growth of slums, poor access to sanitation, poor health, lack of or poor education, and increased crime rates. One effective tool for tackling these problems is for the families to have the number of children they can cater for.
Pushes for better education around safe and protected sex to ensure every pregnancy is wanted and cared for. People indeed have a right to select contraceptive methods that are in line with their ethical sensitivities. Informed and correct and ethical use of family planning promotes maternal and child health and welfare, and it prevents morbidity.
Some speakers advocated for women to be empowered for the development and growth of the community and the nation at large. They highlighted that it is important that family planning is widely available and easily accessible through trained health workers to anyone who is sexually active, including adolescents.
There are opportunities, low-hanging fruits, women who say they want. There are not women who need to be persuaded. There are women who are already persuaded that just need to help them swing on to modern method or to begin to use methods as they desire their heart. That is a low-hanging fruit. I must step in to capture that.
Utilization of contraception, which has been proven to have huge economic and health benefits for women, families, communities, and even the nations at large. The use of family planning by women could reduce their chances of dying from pregnancy-related causes by up to 30%.
And we also have to consider the boy child, the girl child, and also speak to them and have these conversations about them about use of contraception and family planning. Because it has been proven that when people prevent unwanted pregnancies and when people space their families, quality of life can improve.
Still on health, Nigerian health authorities are considering vaccinating children from 5 years and above as they rank among age groups prone to the infection. Galaxy's Godfrey Shimugo reported that this was one of the submissions made by the Executive Director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Shuaib, during the weekly briefing on the nationwide COVID-19 vaccination exercise.
We can talk about the third jab, but in terms of policy, of course, for those that are 65 years and above, we are considering vaccinating them with booster doses when the time comes, because they still form that vulnerable group. But we're also mindful that what WHO has approved is to give booster doses.
On the status of Nigerian vaccines to the British government, Dr. Shuaib assures that they have no problems with vaccines issued by Nigeria, noting travelers to that country should have nothing to fear.
UK approves the vaccines that are administered in Nigeria. A large proportion of the vaccines that have been used in Nigeria were donated through COVAX from the UK government. So the UK government does approve the vaccination program in Nigeria. What the UK government is doing right now is going through a careful process of looking at the certification.
Meanwhile, as at Monday, 4 October, Nigeria has vaccinated 4.963 million eligible persons across the country with the first dose of vaccines, this representing 4.4% of the targeted population. Cornell Media Consult awards Galaxy's Chief Steve Ojo as the Outstanding TV CEO of the Year. Chief Steve Ojo is described as a selfless leader and passionate about the development of media. The award was presented by Colenius Udofia, which was received by Teslim Ajayi, the acting station manager of Galaxy Television, on behalf of the CEO, Steve Ojo. CMC believes in celebrating excellence with the CMC Africa Award, understanding that the times are tough and rough with lots of negative news and energy. CMC strongly believes that many Nigerians and Africans are doing well across field and they are happy to celebrate with them.
On behalf of the CMC Gladiators of Repute Award organizers for 2021, we are here at the Galaxy headquarters in Lagos to present awards to someone who has sacrificed so much for this country. A selfless leader, a patriotic leader, someone that has a passion for the development of the media and of course the entertainment and the fashion industry. So Chief Steve Ojo.
Congratulations there to Chief Steve Ojo. You're still on to Galaxy Television News. Up next is stories from international news.
And now tracking stories from the international scene. Facebook's founder, Mark Zuckerberg, has apologized for the disruption caused after its social media services went down for almost 6 hours, impacting more than 3.5 billion users worldwide. The billionaire said sorry after an internal technical issue took Facebook, Messenger, WhatsApp and Instagram offline at about 600 GMT on Monday. The scramble to bring it back online eventually succeeded at around 2200. But it is likely to increase scrutiny of the social media giant's reach. For hours, potentially billions of people found themselves without the social media tools they relied upon to keep in touch with friends and family. Others reportedly found they could not access services which required a Facebook login. Meanwhile, small businesses around the world which use social media to connect with customers were faced with the prospect of an unexpected financial hit. Mr. Zuckerberg himself was thought to have lost an estimated $6 billion from his personal fortune at one point as Facebook shares plummeted, according to the business website Fortune's tracking software. Also, Down Detector, which tracks outages, said some 10.6 million problems were reported around the world, the largest number it had ever recorded. Facebook later said it had been brought offline by a faulty configuration change which not only impacted the websites and apps but also affected the company's internal tools. Those tools included Facebook's internal email and even employee work passes. Some reports suggest that Facebook headquarters was in meltdown. The outage comes at a particularly difficult time for the company, which is finding itself increasingly under pressure over its reach and impact on the society. In the meantime, anti-vaccine residents in a village in rural Guatemala have attacked nurses who were trying to administer COVID-19 jabs, holding them for 7 hours. Officials say about 500 people blocked a road and vandalized the team's cars in Maguala in the northern Alta Verapaz province. The 11 workers were released after police negotiated with the villagers who destroyed about 50 vaccine doses. Authorities say online disinformation is feeding resistance to the vaccines. The nurses were, quote, verbally and physically attacked by the residents who let the air out of the workers' tires and destroyed the cool boxes storing the doses, the health ministry said. Local media reported that residents rejected the vaccines because a villager who received a dose had developed side effects which were interpreted as being health problems linked to the jab. Now, experts say the most common side effects of the vaccines are pain and tenderness at the injection site. Some people have wider effects like fever, headache, nausea and fatigue, but they are usually mild and short-lived. Meanwhile, the director of the provincial health department told Newsmail that the officials had previously encountered communities that rejected vaccination teams, but that it was the first time they faced such physical resistance. Away from the COVID-19 pandemic, flooding has hit parts of London after heavy rain overnight, causing disruption on the roads and railways. Shops and offices in Knightsbridge were hit by a deluge, leaving some unable to get to work as motorists tried to navigate waterlogged roads. Torrential downpours caused by a mild front sweeping eastwards have affected other parts of the UK, with parts of the M23 in Sussex closed. Tube lines and the London Overground have reopened after earlier closures. St James's Park in central London saw 35 mm of rain between midnight and 600 BST, the Met Office said. The Met Office says the amount of rain from extremely wet days has increased by 17%. It also said a shift to more intense individual storms and fewer weak storms is likely as temperatures increase. Cities like London now have to prepare for flash flooding events. In the future, the transport systems in particular are vulnerable, the report says. Better drainage, materials that can absorb rain and better flood protections are all being planned. But the Met Office said it all comes at a cost. Commuters faced disruption as flooding at Gloucester Road and Aldgate led to parts of the district circular metropolitan lines to close. London Overground also partially suspended services due to flooding at Imperial Wharf. A spokesman for the Mayor of London said, quote, flash flooding in some areas of London last night is causing concern and anxiety for many Londoners, and it shows once again that the dangers of climate change have moved closer home And finally, on the international scene, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson says he's not worried about the current jobs gap and rising prices in the UK, saying supply chains will sort themselves out rapidly. The UK Prime Minister told Newsmail that the economy was facing the stresses and strains of a post-COVID recovery, but he said the country was moving to a new approach, with companies paying higher wages for UK workers rather than relying on low-paid immigration. And he claimed government schemes like the Hardship Fund would help people. Mr. Johnson also said he was not worried about inflation, as he believed supply would match demand going forward. He told Newsman the country was at a turning point and the UK's world-leading logistics industry would fix the issues. The Prime Minister also claimed that only 127 HGV drivers had applied for temporary visas offered by the government to help tackle the shortage. But the Road Haulage Association said a 3-month visa simply wasn't attractive enough for European truckers to give up their current jobs for a short-term contract, perhaps only weeks long, with all the hassle including short-term rent which would be involved. He also said companies in control of supplying goods will manage any issues rather than the government stepping into to patch and mend every bit of our supply chains. And that's a wrap on stories from our international scene.
Up next is entertainment news.
Welcome to entertainment news. Nigerian R&B legend Banky W has revealed that he has finished recording his forthcoming album, The Bank Statement. Banky W has not released any studio album since his 2013 cult classic R&B. Speaking on his next album, the singer revealed that the title of his next album would be The Bank Statement. He says he has taken some years off but has a lot of stories to tell about love, relationship, about God, about country, about life. The 40-year-old former record label Banky W explained the concept behind the album, which has a song for every month of the year. Nigerian singer Brymo has called out music icon 2Baba on Twitter, stating that he falsely accused him of having an affair with his wife Annie Idibia, and the words were never taken back still. He went on to narrate how we met 2Baba at an event and how they had an awkward moment. Brymo recounted how he was lured to a hotel and attacked by some tout. Brymo said in his tweet that he later found out that 2Baba was the brain behind the attack. He said he confronted Idibia about the incident, to which he blatantly denied. The music star said he is being taunted by 2Baba and appealed to him to desist from communicating with him or anyone close to him. Idibia is yet to react to the accusations levied against him by Brymo. Popular disc jockey Florence Otedola, popularly known as DJ Cuppy, is officially a full-time student at the University of Oxford, England. Cuppy had earlier announced that she was accepted in the prestigious university for a master's degree in African Studies. The excited new student took to her social media page on Monday, October 4, to share photos from her first day of classes, stating that she is officially a full-time student at the University of Oxford. Popular gospel singer Sinach was given worthy recognition in the US. The Waymaker Crooner was bestowed with a certificate of recognition by the US Congress after recently held concerts in Texas. Sheila Jackson Lee, a US senator who penned the recognition letter, said it was in the view of artists using her music to propagate the gospel around the world and for conducting a successful concert in Austin. She described her as being deserving of her recognition. Mark Zuckerberg lost more than $6 billion of his personal wealth after the 6-hour outrage experienced on Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram yesterday, October 4. This knocked him down a notch on the list of the world's richest people. Yesterday's outage was one of the longest outages Facebook and its services like WhatsApp and Instagram faced. Facebook in a blog noted that the cause of the global outage was a glitch in router. Facebook has blamed the outage on faulty configuration change. Hours before the outage, a whistleblower came forward and revealed her identity, which has also contributed to the outage. In just a few hours, Zuckerberg's personal wealth was reduced by $6 billion, which has cost Zuckerberg the 5th position among billionaires. Now, it stands with $120 billion in 6th place behind Bill Gates. His net worth began plummeting after Wall Street Journal began publishing a series of stories based on a cake of internal documents it obtained from a whistleblower, revealing that Facebook knew about a wide range of problems with its products, such as Instagram's harm to teenage girls' mental health and misinformation about the January 6th Capitol riots, while downplaying the issues in public. And that's all for entertainment news.
If you want more of our news, log on to our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel www.youtube.com/GalaxyTV Nigeria. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page www.facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Follow and tag us on our Instagram page @OfficialGalaxyTV. You can avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share your story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818-6666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments. Thanks for watching Galaxy Television News for this time. I'm Solomon of him. See you again next time.